Hello everyone, and welcome to the Deeply Renegade podcast. My name is Molly, also known as the Deeply Renegade, and I'd like to welcome you guys to episode 147. Today is Saturday, September 3rd, 2016, and I'm glad you could join me today. I have to laugh at myself a little bit, because I totally made a rookie mistake this week, which is why I'm wearing my Gauge Before Raid shirt, because I started a sweater, and I didn't check Gauge. Oh, sadness. I probably did have a chance, and I was not thinking about that. So I will show you a sweater that I will need to partially rip back. And thank goodness for the construction, because I would have had to rip all the way back otherwise, so. But first, the Captain America socks. These are out of some Chinchillas 1957 yarn, though now they're called Chapters 57. And this is, it looks like I have enough sock, but maybe I'm gauging that off of how much sock I need in order for it to be a sock, because I have like another 2 inches of foot to go, but, or 2 inches of foot to go before I start the toe. And looks like I'll have enough for that, so that should be fine. I'll probably have actually a decent amount left over of this yarn. I was worried, which is why I had the black cuff heel and eventually toe, was just to make sure that I didn't run out. Because it seemed like it was not a lot of yarn, so it was going to be like 250 yards, which wasn't going to be enough. So, though it would have been 3 ounces, so 100 grams is 3.5, so, I don't know. Seems sketchy, so I opted for the other thing. I'm still using the signatures. The signatures do have a interesting challenge with respect to piercing through things. Might need to, find some way to keep the points contained. I think that's really the only way that it's going to turn out well. So it's like puncturing through my Tom Thin bag, and that thing's pretty bulletproof. So, stiletto tips, I think the double points only come in stiletto tips, and they're fierce. So, not that I'm minding, I'm really enjoying working on the sock, so, but, yeah. What's also interesting is I do actually think it is, a self-striper. Like, you guys can see, like, it's definitely got some self-striping in there, because the red will be followed by some yellow, and then there's a dark blue before it launches into the next one, so, it's definitely, it was like Speckletastic before Speckletastic was cool, I believe, so, and then one stripe is really thin, because that's the gusset one, so, enjoying so far. Maybe a little bit sad they're not for me, but whatever. My sock drawer is pretty full anyways, and I've been really in the mood for socks, so works out. Coffee. Onto the rookie mistake. Well, what was it? I was laying it out Thursday, trying to figure out how, big it was to make sure that everything was coming out as planned, because I'd finally gone into a part that was more working it back and forth, and, survey says no. So this is the Delancey cardigan by Alexis Winslow, and I will need to rip back this much, but since it is diagonal, it is still a decent amount of ripping, so it's probably, what is it, 2 or 3 inches of knitting. and keep working, and it actually might be a little bit more than that even, because it's the case where, it's actually very interesting, so it's the case where you have paired increases and decreases once you start working both pieces together. But before you get to that point, you have some room for the button bands on the fronts. So that was cool, but it means I'm going to have to actually rip back a little bit more than that. So I'll have to rip back this much, probably. Because, what is it? I joined it before, and it wasn't time yet to join, so... So it might be... I think I'll be okay, but, so I modified the striping pattern a little bit in order to make sure that I had equal use of both of my handspun yarns, and so then I incorporated the burgundy Woolmisa DK. So it is sort of on the thing where it's catching colors from the colored, or whatever, my brightly colored handspun, which is a combo spin I did last year. So it's coming together, but when I measured it, it was 2 inches smaller than I was expecting. And then I pulled out my ruler and I measured gauge, and it was, when I started knitting it, I was at 16 stitches per inch. The gauge for the pattern was supposed to be 18, but I was okay with it being a little looser. But by the time I rechecked gauge, I was at 17, so that means I need to knit a different size. I find it doubtful that I will somehow manage to work myself into gauge from there, so I can probably safely assume 18 is okay. But I do have to rip back a decent amount in order to get that fixed. So I'll have to basically rip back to the stripe here. So I had a couple of extra stripes. But it has been fun so far, and it's very graphic and bold, so that's been cool. Because what is it? It's a mashup of 2 nest colorways, so one of them is Magpie, and the other one is Nebula, so it is the Cosmic Magpie. So, super cute. And I've been looking through projects and trying to figure out things, so I'm making the short version because, well, some people have torsos, like, look at, yeah, how far apart my hip bone is from my rib cage is decidedly small, so. It is very compact. So I don't think I need an extra length, and, well, Alexis might have a long torso. I probably am short-torsoed instead. So, as such, excited so far. Was going to rip back at knitting last night, but ended up rescheduling knitting for tonight, so as such, I will probably rip back tonight. But you'll get to see the pretty stripes. So I'll probably, I think calculations work out okay if I make, what is it? So with my gauge boo-boo, is the case for knitting 36 was going to give me 40 and a little bit. I'll need to knit 39 now, and that'll give me about 40 and a little bit. So, so the pattern has you, or what is it? They actually do indicate ease on the designer. So she knit, I think the 36 or 39 with no ease, but I'm not really sure I want to do that. So just an inch of positive ease nothing too crazy. So that is the story there, coming together. Not sure if I'm going to do something, because obviously there's always the specialness when you have the stacked decreases, but so far a fun knit. I guess I could show you my yarn. So what I'm knitting it with is a white Shetland. That was my comb top that I ended up getting from the Woolery when I got my combs. So this is about a 3-ply DK. And then I have my nest, which unfortunately my ball winder's dying. It can't wind the big balls anymore. It starts getting sort of drunk after you get about 4 ounces onto it. So I ended up breaking up my giant 8-ounce skein into, and also my 10-ounce skein into smaller skeins, because it just wasn't going to work. So this is the nest, so it has greens and magentas and yellows. And there's like hints of blue, but there was blue in one of the fibers and not in the other, so because it's a 3-ply, it didn't pick up as much. It was really cool to spin. And then I have my Woolmeisa skein. So this was about 200 yards. And this is Kool-Aid over-dyed, so it was a brown. I tropical punched it, as well as added like a bluey, which turned out sort of turquoise on this. So it's magenta with bits of turquoise at this point. So nice and punchy. And I have plenty of it. I would probably, I don't know how many I would need. I think I ordered 3 because that would be the right amount for a Molly sweater. When I knit with my other Woolmeisa DK, my mother-in-law ended up getting 4 skeins, so I just have like a whole other skein. But I figured that this was probably a good use for it, because it seemed like I was going to need more than 1,000 yards to get a full-size sweater, so it's just totally insurance. And I needed something to replace the white, because I probably was going to need more white than the colored hand spun for it, and it wasn't. That wasn't the case, so. So I think I got as close as I could get to that. So, spinning. I have been making some progress. I just started plying these two together, and I think what you'll notice here is that I'm just like randomly moving things around. So you'll notice that one of these is darker than the other. At some point the colorways do match up. I can swap because it seems like the lighting is a little funny. Okay. So one of these is definitely darker than the other one. And it actually remains lighter on this guy for quite some time before the colorways start to match up. So we'll see how it goes. I'm plying them end to end anyways, and it's a little graphic right now, but I'm sure they'll glomp together nicely. But let's see. We got this in frame, nearly in frame. Oops. Sort of in frame. Okay, maybe that was a little bit too far away. There we go. So, pay no mind to my brick band. Okay. So, this is how it's plying together. So it's definitely very graphic, but it's sort of toning down both of them. So, it'll be matchy, because it does go through all of the same colors, but for whatever reason, I don't know if it was the case where they actually were 2 different colorways, or what. Or if one of them was in the sun and the other one wasn't, because I did get it in a destashed layer. I make sure that my yarn doesn't have direct sunlight, so that's why it's on this wall. And then the window is right past it. So, because I could put my yarn, whatever, on another wall, but then it would be in direct sunlight, and then I don't really want it to fade, and that sort of thing. So, as such. That's what I was going for, but it was very striking when I ended up winding them into a center pull ball and be like, huh, that was a little different. I think the finished product will be amazing. I will probably need a new ball winder before I wind it because it's going to be an 8-ounce skein and my ball winder can't handle that, so. Puzzle there. Haven't touched the Pigeon Roof Studios. Maybe I'll bring it to knitting tonight. We'll see. Meh. I'm gonna start hitting it hard once I finish this guy. I'm not sure. I'm sort of, what was it? I was wearing my one of my handspun socks this week, or one of my pairs of handspun socks. I'm like, it's probably time to do that again. So maybe the next spin that I'll pick out will be my, what is it, my merino nylon one. I just have like fiber falling. So this guy here is in my bin. It's 3 bats, 6 ounces, which is meant for socks, and then it has like this, what have you, this crazy yellow stuff, I don't know. So this is a merino nylon with sparkle. Yeah, I think that's sparkle. Yeah, it's sparkle. So, who knew? I got some sparkle stuff. So, that should be fun. Lots of blue. So, it's been hanging out in the stash for long enough. It was in my bin. I should get to it. So, probably put on the fast flyer and then go to town. And get some nice thin yarn for socks. And basically just replying them together. There we go. That was also another D-stash fiber thing, so works out. Who knows? I might change my mind by the time I'm done playing. Who knows? Okie doke. Next, what I want to talk about is in the specs. So, one of the viewers, Bats, ended up sending me a package of beads and a knot bag, which was super duper sweet of her. Oh my gosh. So, she had mentioned that, ooh, we have an open container of beads. I'll have to fix that later. So, she ended up sending a variety of beads. It appears to be, yeah, so these are size 8 beads and various colors. So, all sorts of fun things in there. So, I'll have to figure out what ones are going to go the best with this. But very cool. But I was expecting the beads. I was totally not expecting the bag, and it's actually one of the satin line ones, so it's perfect for handspun projects, and I'm just amused by the cats and trees. So, thank you. That was super sweet. So, this is my Madeline Tosh, Tosh Merino Light. I'm planning on making it into darkness. And I'll have to do a little bit of bead trials to figure out which one's gonna make sense. And mostly that involves stringing a couple and seeing how it looks. I'm sort of probably going to be doing the, I have some gold line that are more clear and some gold line that are more frosted in here, and I think those would look really nice. So, and like they're Miyuki beads? Yeah. So, from Foxton. So, Miyuki is a really great brand of beads, so if you're looking for them, that tends, like, you search for Miyuki beads, then you know you're getting a very good product, so yeah. So that was really cool. Let's see, anything else? I should be able to record next week. That will be, according to the calendar, the 10th, so stay put. In a few weeks, I will be going to Stitches, Texas. I'll probably only end up going for one day, and it might just be to hang out. I'm not sure. to say hello and to be around all the knitters, and because it's really nice to be in a big city and have like a couple of, like, to have 2 really nice big knitting events per year. And they're nicely spread out, like that's birthday and half birthday right there. But I'll be there. I'll make plans with my knitting group and see where that goes from there. And it might just be to say hello to people and hang out. We'll see. It could be that I'm totally off on that sort of thing. Or it'd be the case where I'd be looking for a couple of very strange things, at least for me. Because normally I don't go in for the tools. But, what was it? I might be on a quest for a double point needle holder of some sort. Because, yeah, those signatures are fierce. I need to do something about that, because at some point I'm going to pierce through something that I shouldn't pierce through. Like, at least most of the areas of my Tom Bin bag, it's okay that it's stabbing through, but I have, like, the clear plastic pockets on either side of the bag, and I don't want him to go through there. I appreciate knitting with them. But I don't want to, like, destroy shirts and pants and bags and all sorts of other things by using them. So we'll see. Maybe there are things that I want or am interested in. But I am looking forward to that. So that's going to be the 23rd of September. So if any of you guys are in the area, it is, what would that be? I think it's a good little show. Probably not taking classes. I think the DFW Fiberfest does a better job at drawing in teachers. So, yeah, such is life. Let's see. Any other sort of vague things? Because I think, what is it? I have my, like, future project, my project to slightly fail, and then my project to full of win. With respect to the knitting, so I don't think I'm casting on anything too soon. Might need to roll around in the stash a little bit. I definitely had a very good time making scrappy socks, but I'm not sure if, like, I was realizing my balls of significant yarn. Let's see if I can even find it. No, I'm not sure. Whatever. Because I was noticing, so this is a bag of my smaller bits of yarn, except for maybe the BFL. And so it's the case where those have been really great for monster socks, but you need to have one that is a little bit more substantial. Oh, here we go. And here's my bag of bigger bits. So this is a case where they're good size parts of skeins. In this case, the gray, I'm pretty sure, is a full skein, but not sure I'd be making socks out of, what is it? That is alpaca, merino, bamboo, and nylon. So that's some alpaca with a twist. So that's like, so that's 30% alpaca, 30% merino, 20% bamboo, and 20% nylon. So that's substantial. But I don't know, it's just the case where and one of these is, this one is sport, so I'm not even sure. I'd probably make maybe good mitts or something, I don't know. But there might, more substantial ones, but it'd be the case where it's sort of hard to combine them with my other ones, so they just sort of sit as too small for socks, and, well, I guess I could make short socks. I'll have to ponder on that. Maybe make short socks with two of them, I don't know. So, it could be interesting to combine things. I guess it's not like I don't have a shortage of normal full skeins of sock yarn either. It's just nice to get rid of the partials, or maybe I'll start making bluebirds of happiness compulsively with my signature needles. I even have like a little stack of lavender to stuff them with, so. Yeah, unfortunately I had to record inside today because there was a hornet or wasp nest, like right where I was going to record. So I can put up with a lot of things, but I concluded that was a step too far. So we're going to go on a stealth mission and destroy them, probably tonight, because that was a decent sized nest. I was like, oh man, where did that come from? So, normally I wouldn't be recording in here, because it actually is pretty nice. Let's quantify pretty nice for you guys, because I think my standards of pretty nice have changed somewhat. Alright, and today, it is 90. But it's 85 up here with my fan going, so oh well. So, pretty nice is 90 in the shade right now. I don't know why. Such is life. So, with that, I hope you guys have a lovely week, and I look forward to talking to you guys next week. So, take care, guys. Bye-bye.